Now let us start to understand the poem better. Now when we read the poem, we shall know how the village schoolmaster had created this indelible mark in the minds of the people of his village. That is an imaginary village by the name of Auburn. So beside yon strangling fence that skirts the way, with blossomed firs unprofitable gay, there in his noisy mansion, skilled to rule, the village master taught his little school. Well, the poem begins with a description of an old schoolhouse. Once upon a time, in this very mansion, it was a very big house, it's a very big school building, and that was now in a dilapidated condition, in a very bad state. It was in ruins. It was surrounded with a broken fence. Usually fences are very attractive. It has a lot of creepers growing on them, a lot of flowers. But unfortunately, the mansion, where once upon a time there would be a school gurgling with the laughter of children, is now in absolutely bad shape. The plants, the firs, the trees around were all dried up. The narrator tells us that the school was once a noisy mansion, an aristocratic big building, presided over by a village schoolmaster. A man severe he was, and stern to view. I knew him well, and every truant knew. Well, had the boding tremblers learned to trace the day's disasters in his morning face. Well, now we gradually get to know what sort of a person the village schoolmaster was. The poet, in the second stanza, mentions that he remembers the master to be severe and stern a man. He was a perfect disciplinarian. He just wanted children to study and be disciplined. He was feared by every child who played truant. Now, he was not only a very severe and a stern man, a strict disciplinarian, but he was also a caring teacher, because he knew of those children who were not very interested in lessons. Those who were not interested to come to school, they would leave home with their school bags and their lunch bags, but in the middle of the way, they would just go away somewhere else, spend the whole day in whatever they felt like doing, and went back home. Now this would be a thing of concern for the village schoolmaster, so he would be double strict with them. And such children, those who do such things, are known as truants. 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 Truants are those schoolgoers who are reluctant to go to school, those who dislike going to school, those who in the name of going to school wander away in doing things which they are not supposed to do. So the village schoolmaster would keep a track of who is coming to school, who was not coming to school, where had they been or where did they go, everything. And once he would track these boys down, they would be surely taken into custody. He would question them, he would beat them up, he would just want to know where were they whiling away their time, wasting their time. Instead of coming to school, where had they been? Because they can always do something wrong, something more mischievous, which would make them get into trouble. So he would monitor their movements. He He would keep a track of where had they been, whether they had come to school, what were they doing in school, whether they were learning at all. Everything he monitored, everything he took care of. And the reason why he was stern and he was severe is because he loved the children, he loved learning, he loved the little school that he was teaching in. So let us look at some of the difficult words. Severe is someone who's very strict, stern. He would never have a smile on his face, a very stone-like face, you see. You wouldn't want to ask him any questions. Day's disaster. Day's disasters, how bad would be the day? From his face, children could make out whether the day is going to be a good one or the day would be a bad one, whether they would be punished or whether they would be pampered.